Draymond Green declines a $27.6 million Warriors contract option and will become an unrestricted free agent. Now, for anybody who knows anything about Draymond Green, he is from Saginaw, Michigan. He went to Michigan State University. He's got a connection to the state of Michigan. I'm not saying we got to go out and try to get this guy. I am saying there is a case that he might be potentially interested in coming here. Now, would it work out? Absolutely not. There is 0% chance. If they do this, it will not work out. I hand to the Lord. I can see it. It will not work out. It would make the Blake Griffin deal look like a masterclass. And to be fair to the Blake Griffin deal, at least that deal granted us an all-star. I don't think Draymond Green has another all-star year in him. I mean, he was never really a perennial all-star. He 4-time all-star, but he's a single-digit a game guy. Like, he's not a scorer. He's obviously a defensive guru, multiple-time all-defensive player and all that. But to be fair, the Pistons do need defense, right? At one of the worst defenses in basketball. Draymond Green's a vet of this league. He's a multiple-time NBA champion, obviously, with the Warriors. And he's a respectable player. At least, like, players. And I know, like, he's got his controversies with, stepping on poor Sacramento Kings players. But he's a guy that players look at and they're like, okay, this guy, he knows game. He's been in the league. He's a dog, right? He's a basketball player. He's a big guy. He's an enforcer, right? And the Pistons historically have always had an enforcer on their winning teams. You had, Ben or Rasheed Wallace. Honestly, more. I don't even know who would be the enforcer. You had Bill Laimbeer. Yeah, you always had a guy on the Pistons who was not there to score. He was there to block. He was there to assist. He was there to rebound. And that is exactly what Draymond Green is. I mean, he is a, 7 rebound a game guy. He is a 6 assist a game guy. Like, he's not elite. He's not like, or at least not anymore, but he's a defensive player. He knows how to, I just watched Javi Baez that wasn't exactly his fault. Either way, Draymond Green to the Pistons, I wouldn't totally rule it out. It would be stupid. They shouldn't do it. They shouldn't be interested in Draymond Green, at least not at this stage. But if they did do it, it would at least make the Pistons interesting. And it almost certainly, again, will not work out, but it's there. Like, the connection is there, the money is there, everything is there for Draymond Green to come to Detroit. Does he end up in Detroit? Probably not. He probably ends up on a championship contender like LA, or he could end up back on the Warriors. Who knows? He could end up in Miami. That would be interesting. He could end up in any number of places, but they're probably going to be championship contenders because, he's already a 10-year vet in this league. He's probably, what is he, like, he's 33. He's still probably got a good amount of years left in him, but he's just not the player that he once was. And I don't know. I mean, I would say he probably has, maybe 4 years left in him at best. I don't even know about that. But I don't know. I leave it on the table just because the Pistons need a good player. They need a free agent. Whoever we get in free agency, in a trade, what have you, they're going to be damaged. They're going to be, drama queens or Dylan Brooks or whatever. Like, they're going to be players that other teams are going to look at and be like, oh, yeah, I don't know if I want him. Like, if you're a good team, you can be like, oh, yeah, we're not going to get this guy. We don't need Draymond. Like, if you're the Bucks or if you're the even the Kings, or, well, Kings definitely aren't going to get him. But if you're one of these good teams, you're like, I don't really need him. I don't really want him. Like, I'm okay. But if you're a team that maybe wants to you can always add a piece, and maybe he's gonna be the guy who will get you, 10 rebounds a game or like close to 10 assists a game. He would potentially be that guy for your team, but Pistons are not going to be contending for another like 3 years. Like unless Troy Weaver pulls a masterclass and or Kate Cunningham becomes like a top 10 point guard in the league, it's probably not going to happen. So, yeah. I thought it was interesting. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just here so I don't get fined. Speaking of getting fined, another player declines their option. One Kyle Kuzma declines $13 million from the Wizards and will become a free agent. It's another player that, has to be kind of looked at if you're the Pistons. Like, literally, there are some, we can't, be the kind of team that's like, oh, we would never. It's like, no, guys, we suck. We have to look at basically everybody. And Kyle Kuzma, he's from Flint, Michigan. Another guy who has some connection to the city of Michigan, the state of Michigan. And he's not a bad player. 21 points last year, 7 boards, 3 assists. He's a decent player. Never been an all-star, though. But, again, he's immediately, like, the best player on our team. And that's not a recipe for, playoff success or a championship. I understand that. But it is a recipe for a leader. It is a recipe for a veteran, somebody who's respected in this league. Played for the Lakers, played for Washington. He's played in, the Lakers obviously are a major market. And then Washington, it's probably a smaller market. But Detroit, really not a whole lot of pressure on him. We're not particularly contending for, a playoff spot. It allows for him to grow in whatever way he might. He is what? He's 27. Close to his prime, probably not going to get too much better than what he is. But I really don't hate Kyle Kuzma. I don't really have much of a problem with him. He's a decent ball player. Obviously, he won a championship. He was on the Lakers on that championship team. And he was an all-rookie as well. He's a decent player. Not... And again, would probably be the best player on the team. Unless Cade takes a massive jump, or Ivy takes a massive jump, or Duran, or any of these guys take massive jumps, Kyle Kuzma probably be the best player on your team. From an offensive perspective, Kyle Kuzma probably be the best player on your team. I know it's not what I want to hear either, but it's just the reality. And I don't know. This is one where if they did this, I'd be like, you know what? I am okay with this. Dare I say, I even like it. Dare I even say that? If they went out and they got Kyle Kuzma, I would say, you know what? Good job. This is a player that I can respect. Doesn't really seem to have any massive concerns for me. He doesn't have much of an injury history. He plays pretty much every game. He plays pretty much all year. He was a starter with the Wizards, and when he was a starter, 21 points last year a game again. And even if he drops, that's still pretty much about as good as the guys you had anyway. Like, you gotta put a team on the court. So yeah, sure, why not? Why not throw Kyle Kuzma out of the Pistons? I don't know. I'm just saying, all of this is all just a therapeutic exercise for all of us, for especially us Pistons fans. We are just trying to see what we can get. We don't it could be nothing. It could be, if we don't get anybody that is at least interesting, I don't even know. Like the Bojan Bogdanovic deal, that was, I guess, interesting-ish last year. And it really wasn't yeah, Bojan Bogdanovic, he's okay. He's probably just a trade piece. And who knows? Kyle Kuzma could be a trade piece. You sign him and then you see what you can do. I'm just throwing out the options. Okay? Just throwing out the options.